Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this Monday's edition of National Matters. Some of you noticed that today we were going to host President Edith Nawakwi, but we want to convey our condolences because she lost a nephew. The elder brother's son passed on, and we convey our condolences to the Nawakwi family and the entire family, the widow, and the children. May God bless you all. That said, tonight, this nation is privileged once again to have the veterans of soccer. You know that my wife and I are very passionate about soccer, and I've brought in the studio men that will be able to discuss with me the subject: can Zambia produce international world-class players once again? Don't forget the Chitalos. Don't forget all these people that have been there. And on set again on Zoom, we will be privileged to connect with one of the veteran soccer players Zambia has ever raised, Jan Simulambo, right in South Africa. So stay in there, and I want to introduce my guests right now. On my immediate left, he needs no introduction. He's a Camnet viewer. He's a Camnet family person. I don't know how to place him, but he's a veteran person in this nation, Masha Chilemena. Welcome to the program.
May I say it's a privilege to be here. And Camnet family, wherever you are, we are not just another TV.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Next to Brother Masha Chilemena is our own coach in Camnet TV, Camnet Stars, because some people in this nation did not see the value and the potential that these people have, that they are equal to the task. And it's just an honor to have Mr. Fiudes Musonda, who is one of the coaches working with Elijah Chikwanda, Bwalia, and Mulenga. We are so grateful to have you in the studio, Mr. Musonda.
Thank you, Pastor Chiluba, and good evening, viewers.
Again, in the studio, we have our very own coach. He coaches a football team, Aguila football team, and it has gone in the National League. And on the Saturday, we had a friendly game with them. They just taught us how soccer is not to be played. And they gave us a good 4-0. So we are so grateful for Makundika.
Yes, sir.
Sakala. Coach Sakala, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Pastor Chiluba. Good evening, viewers. It's really a privilege and honor to be amongst the great that have ever graced Zambia. So for me, it's really a privilege and honor, sir.
Amen.
Amen.
We are grateful to have you here.
Amen.
Last but not the least, and you know, wine always is given palasti at the wedding in Cana, and what they said, where have you been? Nevertheless, Brother Smata has been FAS chairman, president, chairman, and a coach, enormous person in the world of football. And these are people who are not failures. They've done their best, and they are doing their best. Brother Smata, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Pastor, for inviting me, and good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
And of course, in absentia, when we are going to ask very shortly, once we talk to our director, so that he can put Coach Jan Simulambo, a man who played with the Chitalos of this world,
Yes.
a man that did so much, is in South Africa, but is joining this panel, and he will be in anytime once my director gives me a signal. In the meantime, let's go to the question. Brother Macha, you are the one that so witnessed in your era the team that Ant Buselik raised. When we were growing up, even now, I can almost tell the lineup from Emmanuel Mwape or Abraham Nkole, right up to the one who was playing the wings, Brighton Sinyangwe.
On the left.
My goodness. Simwala on the right. That team, will we ever produce another team like the KK11?
I can emphatically answer and say, in inverted commas, yes, we can find those people, but on condition that we get to the rural places of Zambia, visit all the 116 districts, the 156 constituencies. It is true, we can find those people. Let me say and qualify my answer and say, if you ask Sumata or Makundika or indeed my good young brother Fuldes Musonda, who is accredited, and many Zambians really don't want it to remember. The late President FTJ Chiluba said once to me, my brother Masha, one of the biggest diseases we've got in this country is a disease of short memory. I'm speaking to my brothers in Usakile, in Chamboli, in Ndeke, in Kitwe, in other surrounding areas of the Copper Belt, in Kitwe there. They don't remember that Nkana Football Club, then called Nkana Red Devils, were demoted 2 times to go to Division 1. It had to take this man here seated on my left hand, few days in Sunday, to bring Nkana, who had been in Division 1 for 9 years. This man brought Nkana to the first demotion into Super League. A couple of seasons later, they were demoted again. This man is accredited to the second victory of Nkana Red Devil to come back to Zambia's elite football, which is Super League. But if you go into Chamboli, you go into Wuzakile, you go into Ndeke, where Power Dynamos have got a great Arthur Davis Stadium, probably no one will remember his name. He is credited again. I want to inform Simata because he knows that Sate came from his hands. The late Aaron Rubunda Wusito Lusaka came from this man. Makundika Sakala will remember that. He brought this boy called Evans Kangwa and Kings Kangwa from seat of Lusaka, Happy Hearts. Here, Kumbuyo, kwa Woodlands Stadium.
You, that history, we need it. I see that you are fired up. Brother Smarter, can we, as a nation, produce the KK11 and beyond? Because it would be a tragedy for Brazil to be looking for Pele in this time and age. When there is Neymar, there are all these boys coming up. Can Zambia lift the national flag once again?
My answer is simple, Pastor. It's an emphatic yes, because we've done it before. It is not new. There are 2 words here. There is international and world class.
Yes. Yes.
2 words. And from 1964 to date, we've produced international players.
Yes. Yes.
We have produced world-class players. The question is, or the point is, they are not sufficient.
They are not sufficient.
Yeah, that's what I would, my thought would be coming from that point. Because when you look at, say, Congo, You Google on WhatsApp, on the internet, ask yourself a simple question: how many Congolese are in Europe? How many Nigerians are in Europe? Those are international players.
Yes.
Are you? Now, how many Zambians are in Europe? How many Zambians are in South Africa? Very few. That if we attack what's causing that, we will have gone miles ahead.
Sure.
But the answer is yes. And by the way, before I come back to you, please appreciate something. Football has seasons. You know, there's like, let me use the English season. There's winter. There's, or let me start with summer, autumn, winter, spring. You can't compare what happens in summer to autumn or winter. What do I mean? Between 64 and I think up to Buserik, 74, there was a type of player then that I must confess we will never produce.
Like?
People like Fred Moira, Ement Kapengwe, Moikuta, Zomo Njovo. You talked about Brighton, that 74 team. Dick
Godfrey
Chama,
Chitalo.
Godfrey Chitalo, all these Makwaza, you know,
Simuto with the
Simuto,
Simulambos.
Jan,
The Willie Pires.
is coming on the program later. That quality we will never produce because they were in summer.
Absolutely.
You get the point? And I'll qualify that. That was a talent of football that was natural. They were not coached.
No.
They were not coached.
No.
They were
They were
born
not
footballers.
coached. They were born footballers. You didn't have to teach them how to throw in, how to trap the ball, how to move on the pitch. They had it in them.
Sure.
And those days coaching was very simple. A versus B.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So now, if you try and compare that season with, say, the Kaloshawalia season, you are mistaken. Just like in the Brazil you are referring to, Pastor. There was a Brazil Venetostao, Venepele. You can't compare that to the Brazil of Ronaldo. Each time has its own season.
Sure.
So you should compare the seasons within themselves. Like for instance, the Kalusha era, we had Charles Musonde. And he just at that point, there's Johnston, there's Stone Nyerenda, there's Lucky Musiska. They were all going as international players. Now, that quality of player, again, cannot be compared with today. You see what I'm saying? Now, we have the Patsons, we have the Sakalas, we have the Mwepu. You get the point? Now, a child watching Mwepu, that is the star of his life. The trouble is us here, me and Marsha, and I think few days here, is that when I see Mwepu, I'm thinking of Janis Blab. I'm thinking of Charles Musonda.
Yes.
You know, and I'm saying to myself, does he measure up? You know, when I see Patson, I'm thinking of Bernard Chad. I'm thinking of Yuka Chitab.
Somebody Sayota.
Oh, yes.
Richard Stevenson.
You know,
Fanny
Gibbon Chewe.
Gibbon Chewe.
How many people know about Gibbon Chewe? When Yuka scores 107 goals, there's no dispute about it. The people disputing are born yesterday.
The record is beaten to date.
They don't even know what happened. You get the point? Gibbon had 103 goals. Have we forgotten that? From Ndor.
From Ndor United.
Fuso was his name on the pitch.
Oh, yeah.
He had 103 goals. And I think Yuka beat him because he got injured and missed out on 2 or 3 internationals and club games. Otherwise, the record today would be different. But who knows about that guy? Now, those are international players. But when we come to world class, I think world class, for me, there's only been 2 players in this country. Kalu and Charles Musonda. World class.
World class players.
Not international.
World class.
Yeah. Now, that's why it makes me very sad.
Don't you think, like you are saying,
Yes. Yes.
like you are saying, we can't compare Sama to Otto. If we were to uproot the KK11 and bring them in our day-to-day, don't you think Coach Musonda, they would qualify the goals and the passion that Chitalu had, Venezumunje of just Pago, can they feel inferior to people like Ronaldo and Eto and all these people?
No. I think I can qualify Mr. Smarta's statement where he's saying those who had natural talent and they had the passion. So if you got the natural talent and the passion, then you can become great. So they can do it straight away.
But
they are better off.
Let
Yes.
me tell the viewer in my view a bit about your football. Just which teams did you play for? Because the young people, they just know you as a coach, like the
Yes.
guys I introduced.
Yes.
I mean, Masha mentioned your record at Nkana.
Yes.
Who knows it?
Yes.
But as a player, they might even be thinking,
This
where
guy.
did he play? He must have played the 5 change goal 10.
Yeah. Very important. You see, I'm coming from Lanks. Actually, I started my career at Green Buffaloes as an under-14, where I gained promotion to Buffalo, Young Buffaloes. From there, I was put in the what they were calling Buffalo B Special. I actually never played for the main team, but Buffalo B Special was a team which was playing cup games when they are playing an amateur team. From there, I was forced to join as a soldier, but I said, look, I'm a grade 7 boy, I cannot go in. I wanted to become a captain because I wanted to finish my school. So I had to run away and went and joined in Kwazi Football Club. That's where I find Fred Muir as coach.
Can you, please, Pastor, I'm not the interviewer, but for the sake of the viewer,
Yes,
can you go back to Green Buffaloes?
yes.
What were the teams again? There was Buffalo.
There was Young Buffaloes, under 14, under 14.
Under 14.
Then you are promoted to Young Buffaloes.
Buffaloes.
Then there is Buffalo B Special. Then there is Buffalo itself.
The senior.
Now, if you are a Buffalo fan or even an administrator, do we still have that hierarchy, that structure?
Brother Masha, do we have such structures? Because when I was growing up under Vachitalu Mukabwe, you do have those curtain raisers. First, Vatea, and they were equally good. Then the big boys come in.
Yes.
But besides those, there were other junior teams under Cabo Warriors, which were...
Rokana had Ajax.
Yes, to answer former first chairman directly, that kind of structure is not existent.
So
It's not.
And this is what has caused the massive destruction of football in our country. What we see today, Coach Msonda, Coach Sakala, and the former first chairman there, and Pastor Chiluba here, the moderator, is an influx of small academies with people with due respect, not trained to handle 12-year boys, 14, 13, 15, and so on until they are grown. So unless we get back to those structures, Pastor Chiluba, not that we are scared, all of us who are in football administration and management, it will be very difficult to produce a Kelvin Malaza Motale kind of a striker, or merely to discover him from wherever. This boy, Patton Daka, who is a striker, now we're talking about the strikers here, came from Kafue, C7,
yeah.
C7 compound, not in town, kusogoro kukumbulyo kwa town ya Kafue. That's where this boy was found by somebody who later on introduced him to Kafue Celtics, football club, and they started bringing him in, grooming him, and ultimately he's Zambia's ultimate, international player in the English league, where Manchester City, my team, has literally destroyed all records that are there in England. Because they were laughing, no, this team does not have strikers. But without the strikers, they scored the highest number of goals. So in order to get such caliber of players at Man City, Smarter here, a great personality in football administration. And Coach Musonda and Coach Sakala will tell you we have to work very hard to get what you call, Pastor, quality footballers. The Godfrey Chitalu, Godfrey Chitalu, Bernard Chanda, Obi Kapita, Francis Kajia, Moses Simala, Pele Kaimana, the SDS Newton, Kaiza Kalambo was called KK. Willie Pili, who, according to Mr. Dennis Liwewe, may he so rest in peace, Smarter, he used to tell us that this gentleman, Willie Pili, was created by God as a perfectionist. He never made mistakes in a 90-minute game, assuming that the game ends in 90 minutes. You're looking at the Boniface Ntowe, who used 3 nicknames, Makundika, 3 nicknames in one season. Chest Master, Boniface Chitapochimo, and Fumanchu. When the team was in trouble, the whole stadium would shout, Boni Chitapochimo, Alex Chichola.
And you would create a penalty.
From nowhere. So to get to that stage as Smarter and Coach Walia here, Coach Musonda have said that we do not have quality players. And I totally agree with them without any ounce of disbelief, because what we have, with due respect, and I'm not demeaning anybody, we have what you call average footballers. The quality players are these that we're talking about, the Ashos Melus and the Francis Kashimotos and the John Ziambos. You would not ask, are we winning this game, gentlemen? They will tell you, count the goals. So really, we need, as a footballing nation, many people are laughing at us. And it's not good, Mr. Former Vice Chairman, that Zambia should be losing to, sorry to say this, forgive me, Swaziland, Eswatini, Lesotho, Namibia, Angola. We are not in their class, we are above. But the big question, Smart, is, do we have the quality to compete at Africa level? Of the Nigerias, the Ghanas, the Burkina Fasos, the Cote d'Ivoire and the Senegal, Mali. Do we have that?
And the Egyptians.
And the Egyptians, Tunisia, Morocco. Talk about them. Where are we on the continental level?
Sorry, brother, Coach Smarter. You've just won the promotion in Eden. And when you hear this being discussed, and these are veterans of soccer in Zambia, are you happy with the players that we now have, that they can measure to the level they are talking about?
Well, I think the only difference that we have with the players of nowadays and the yesterday's players, I think, the old players, per se, they were self-motivated, okay? Players of nowadays, they need a push every time, okay? That's where now you find a big problem with our football now. Each player needs to be pushed each and every time. But if you look at the Yukas of this world, okay, the Jansen Mlambo, okay, they were self-motivated, okay? They knew what they wanted. Maybe it's because by then there wasn't so much money, but they played with passion. Okay, but with nowadays players now, all they want is money. And complacency now comes in. That's where the big problem is. Okay, they want to put something in the pocket. Later on the next game, they're nowhere to be seen. But with the players of yesteryears, I think they played with too much passion. Okay, the commitment was there. You can see even in the way they played. Okay, there was so much zeal in it. But nowadays players, I think, too much pushing of them. You will not manage to push a player the whole season just for him to play. He needs to know that this is his job. This is the work that he's doing. He needs to commit himself. Okay, that's where the problem is.
My pastor, if you ask the former vice chairman, Smarter, he will tell you that the Godfrey Chitalu, the Dick Chamas, the Dixon Makwazas, and the master of the KK, he will tell you and confess that the Godfrey Chitalus did not play for money. They played for the pride of being a Zambian.
Yes.
Because in our national anthem, there's, the eagle flies above and is able to see the smallest potential animal or fish or bird, to catch. He will come at a speed that the big man, Sumata Barton Mugala, he was known as Zamkab. He would run through the ball, going in front, he would wait for the ball to come. So in terms of speed, in terms of knowledge, in terms of passion, those people were incomparable to the players of today. The players of today, like the coach says, or the coach Musonda here at Cabinet, the boys need to be pushed and you need to give them incentive, but the Boniface Sintoyo is played for the love of their country. So,
Because Pastor,
when you bring in qualities like motivation, passion, you can then now begin to compare.
right.
And I have seen it even in my short coaching life, 20 years. The beginning of those 20 years, I had players come in, the players like him, Mark,
Coach
he
Saka.
played for me,
Eh,
James Chamanga, you know, others I met elsewhere. But the point is, when I saw those players come, I said to myself, what do I work on? You get the point? Okay, let me just work on their fitness. Let me work on their speed. They had it in them.
Right.
By the time I'm finishing with my coaching life, 2015 thereabout,
Then you'll be ready for Zambia, aren't you?
they are different players, my
sure.
pastor. They are different.
Now,
Money didn't motivate them. Words didn't motivate them. You
No.
just wished that they themselves would. Money, Ebola inatwala kwa banenu to get more money.
Yes.
Eh?
Yes.
You say to them, listen, we have James Chamanga here. Look, he's making money or he's working in China. So you also equally have a chance. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
coach. Yes, coach.
now, what would you say? Yes, Coach.
But Pastor, if you talk about passion, when I started playing football myself, I was staying in Emersdale, Station Flats. The young Buffaloes were training in the morning. I was at Sengarumbe Primary School. I would start off from there early in the morning, just to go for training. There was no kit, there was nothing. You use your uniform, the khaki uniform, and it would be dirty all the time.
They were not supplying you with
Yeah, there was nothing. When I go out to school now, the teacher now will look at me, you are looking so dirty. I was always being punished. But because I was training in the morning, then I go at 12 o'clock in class, and the teacher will look at me, why are you always dirty? Then they'll say, he's playing football.
But
You know,
did you tell your mama? Did you tell your mama?
No.
No, of course, our parents also had a different view to it.
Oh, yeah.
If they heard you playing football, they thought you are wasting your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Today, most parents want their children to play football. I've had parents come into my camp and bring their children. No, my son is a very good player. And I said to him, oh, he's good. Okay, let me have a look at him. 2 days later, he doesn't come for training. I called the father and said, your son is nowhere to be seen. He says, he's aching with muscles. And but a good player. So, you see, there's been a change.
Right.
Are you with me?
That's the right word.
There's been a change.
Sure.
The players of the Giants Mulambos. I remember one time Zambia was playing at Independence Stadium and they were camped at Independence Stadium
Oh, yeah.
in the
in
I
the
remember.
dressing room.
Yes. The dressing room is
I
still there.
witnessed how the army had put big pots like this, the same ones we're using in...
Not in the hotel.
No, sir.
Not Mapote Cemetery.
They
No
didn't
hotel, yeah.
see the hotel.
Oh, yes.
They were at Independence Stadium. The soldiers were cooking in Shima for them. At Independence Stadium, outside the dressing room.
With James Munambo in there.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And all these others at that time. Today there would be a riot. No. Today, I mean, these are kids getting $3,000-4,000
Per win.
Kito United, I followed that very closely in my primary school. They were getting something like 2 kwacha.
Oh, yeah.
Now, even if you say 2 kwacha is a lot of money in those days, but I mean, he will tell you how I used to scold these people. I said, you guys are not footballers. And they will tell me, why, coach? I said, when I was growing up, there is no way Rayuka Pabut Stadium would go to training carrying his bag. There is no way he will stop training, carry his bag. Like I see it these days, they are all carrying to my back bags. We, the fans, the kids, would be up in the dressing room. He comes out, he throws you a bag.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
You get that's the difference I'm saying.
Right.
Right? Today's players are not as, and we nicknamed them. In football, we had to find a name to cheer them.
Oh yeah.
And when we went to the pitch, we went to cheer the game. Look today, you go to the stadium, everybody's on a phone. They are analyzing, is this a 4-4-2 or is this a 4-3-3? No, the coach is and as we went to the pitch to cheer, we didn't know about systems.
To augment Simata's point of the soccer fans, watching training, when Godfrey Chitado, came to Cabo Warriors, all these men here will confess and say he was bought by the late Anderson Mazoka, who was the general manager of Zambia Railways, but the chairman of Magnificent Cabo Warriors boss. Cabo Warriors was ngati wadya chani ngati wadya nganga yuti ndio wadya mkuu kuchifuka Magnificent Cabo Warriors player Godfrey Chitado. Every afternoon when they are training, he would be watched by more than 5,000 people in training alone.
Of course.
But those days of our soccer fans going there to watch training, to encourage the players, are no longer there anymore.
And you are talking to a young boy then who used to take Chitaro's bag to the stadium.
Who is that gentleman?
The same pastor you are talking to.
Excellent.
He's going to take the bag there.
Sure. You see, the change I'm also talking about.
Right.
In our football, simple changes, but they've accumulated to something.
Okay.
For instance, I faced the first English club I ever supported was Leeds.
Okay.
When I was in grade 5.
Mine was Nottingham Forest.
In grade 6, I switched to Liverpool. And it's been Liverpool to this day. But yet, locally, I had teams that I followed and loved.
Oh yeah.
Ghana.
You were an ardent fan of Nkana
When I
Forest.
look at these Ghana supporters today going to the stadium in underwear. But most of them don't even know.
Sorry for that.
Oh yeah.
You see that? I was a scout
Passion.
for Ghana.
Oh yes.
I worked very closely with Moses.
Simon.
Oh yeah.
May
Oh
you
yeah.
say rest in
He
peace.
just used to pick up the phone. What's matter? Not quite a problem. Number 5. Coach, is there a person you've got in mind? No. But there's this boy. You say, okay, job done. Our job was to move at night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Kelvin Mutare.
Oh yeah.
I got him from
Curfew.
Oh yeah.
Curfew.
You get the point?
Yes, sir.
Mukotoka, I got him from
Evans.
Zarak.
Yeah.
Before they woke up, he was at Inkana.
Oh yeah.
But you got his wife and children first.
That passion. You see, Pastor, the passion of football, even with just soccer fans, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's
Doesn't.
it.
After
It's gone.
the game,
It's gone.
there's no time I remember Nkana came to Lusaka without me meeting them at Pamozi Hotel. And
Really?
then, yeah, no time. And then we spent time either around us, the Kenneth.
We were the singers
yes.
from Mighty Mufura one time. Pastor Chiloba.
When
Not
Zoom
myself.
Joe was there.
Yes, at the Woodlands Stadium.
But you see those kind of fans today? No, you don't. All I needed was to be woken up. One time, I'll tell you, I was woken up at almost 2 a.m., 3 months in marriage, by Moses. Basmata, we've got a problem. He said, what's the problem? The father of Kelvin booked in the hotel. Around midnight, just decided he wants to go to Carrefour. He's going to sleep at home. We have released the bus driver. There are no taxis outside the hotel. I said to my wife then, I said, Call of Duty. Let's go together. Yeah. We drove to Pamozi Hotel. I picked up the old man, took him to Carrefour, came back.
In the night.
Do you have soccer fans with that kind of passion?
No.
No.
Now,
I
let
can
me
tell
ask
you.
you this.
I can tell you, Pastor, before
Yeah.
I forget this. Smata Sakala here and Mr. Msonda will remember that I was conducting music for Mighty Mufula Wanderers at Woodlands Stadium there. And one of the songs is Abamulemona Island, Niba Maite Island, Bufayo Wabo Island, Kuina Bola, Maite Balange, I Zoom over to stand on the coaching technical area and waving to me. I said, yeah. This is good, Masha.
The point I was making, Pastor,
Yeah.
is that in spite of having a European team I supported, the local team still was number one.
Yes.
There's no way I can go and watch television if Rokana is playing.
Yes.
No ways. Before that, Quito United, Nchanga Rangers. No ways. Later, City of Lusaka. No ways. And then, even as fans, you would find that, say, City. There was a lot of us who were supporters of City.
Oh, yeah.
But yet,
We
we were Nkana, we were warriors.
Oh, yeah.
But when we City, at City, we were City.
But something, Brass
So a lot
Madam,
has changed.
Coach Takala,
Yes.
you are taking the team in the Eden League.
Yeah.
What you brought is of prime concern. Bramasha,
Sir.
Camnet Stars has come.
Right.
You have to move your support from where you are. All of you should come to.
I'm an old man now.
I'm a former soccer fan.
I went with our manager to these playoffs. They were for what's
The qualifiers.
The National League.
the qualifiers for National League.
Yes.
I watched some, and I got interested in 4 of the boys from one team I won't name.
Yes.
Okay.
I said, me, I'm a pastor. I can't steal the players. Let's go. I approached the coaches. I approached the directors. We had a meeting. And I said, look, I am interested in these 4 players. Can you give me these players? One day, you'll be thankful that you gave them to me.
Okay.
Oh, they said, oh, Pastor, we'll give you. We talked, phone calls. 4 or 5 days after, I said, you said we are having a meeting.
You didn't offer.
Listen to this, Brass Pastor.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't.
That
No, I
was it.
didn't.
I've been there.
What I said was, look, I can tell you Camnet Stars has just begun.
Yeah.
Today, I may not have enough money to pay you, but tomorrow, your players will be happy.
Yes.
Right.
What did I get, Bramasha? 5 days after, no phone call. 6 days, weekend I call. They say, Pastor, they said we are not sure of Camnet, so they've gone to another team. They've gone to.
Because the other team,
Offered something.
that is also the other problem.
The biggest one, yeah.
Not just the soccer fans.
Yeah.
We now come to say the administrators.
Oh, yes.
Yesterday, the administrators had a passion for the game.
Sure.
Honestly, they came into
Tom
football
Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
because they wanted to see
Part of, yeah.
football organized.
Oh, yeah.
Are you with me?
Yes.
As I went with football, that's my opinion. Yeah? As we went with football, I began to see that there were more people who were taking out of football than were putting in.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the few of us who were still putting in, they made sure that we didn't get anywhere in FAS or anywhere.
Club level.
We can stop that happening. You get the point? Today, that's somebody here raised the issue of to my academies and
What of you, yeah?
that's what has happened to our football in this country.
Oh, yeah.
A guy who was jobless, has nothing to do with his life. He has no vision even for his personal life. He just thinks, I can have mercy.
Molin Daramo.
Oh,
And
yes.
if he brings other people's children together, he forms a team. Are you with me? And tomorrow, if you go there and say, I'll give a classic example, James Chamanga. James Chamanga comes to the football ground. He's watching us under the tree. Behind him, a teacher passes. And he shouts at me and says, Coach. And I looked back and he says, that one there knows how to play football. And I said to him, no, the ones who know how to play football are on the pitch. Him is a soccer fan. So after the teacher passed, I called him and said, come here. Came and stood next. Said, you're a football player? Yes. I know a little. I said, okay, tomorrow I want you to come. And come with the turkeys you're wearing. Don't put on boots. These are hard grounds. You don't put on boots in hard grounds. Following day he comes. We play a friendly against Lusaka Dynamos. He outclasses them together with Dono Oyobe in the midfield.
The assistant coach at Kansaji.
Yeah. But Fred Muller was the coach. He walks up to me and says, Vani, I said, now, that other one you chased 2 weeks ago, you just don't know.
Even the coach Muller?
This other one only came to my camp yesterday.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And the attitude changes.
Yeah.
Now, when he leaves my team, he goes to National Assembly. They came. So that player, I said, what have you got to offer? They offered the figure. I said, done. It's as simple as that. Jean Lomami. He comes from
Romani. The Romani?
Lomami.
Where?
I come to training late from work, but I see this boy clad in white. White, almost like a tennis player. His first touch on the ball, I sat in the car and said, hold on, smart. What have you seen there? Brilliant player. Power Dynamos comes. We want this boy. In fact, first I gave him away free to Lusaka Dynamos, free to Profound Warriors. Those days there were no transfer windows. He came back and says, no, Sivani Sungabu, okay, come back. Power comes. How much do you want for this player? I said, what's your offer? They gave me an offer. I said, take.
Just like that?
Take. This one is sitting.
So you were happy?
This one.
Coach Sakala.
Yeah.
Coach Sakala.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody messed up his. He was supposed to have gone to Nigeria. Have you forgotten?
No.
And somebody threw spanners into it. Zanako comes up to me.
It was a great strike, eh?
We want it. I said to them, what are you offering? No, but the price I sold him, he knows. He knows. And I used to tell my players what they're going for. The only assurance I wanted from Dynamos, for John Lomami, from Zanako, for all my players, was that they are given jobs or paid well, and they go. The rumor in the football fraternity was that Smarter is a very difficult person to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree that I'm difficult because I will not allow you
He
to
would
get
have
a
been,
cut.
in marketing, he would have been a very difficult product to market.
You see, the problem,
And yet he knows what to do.
the problem that there is, let's face it here,
Oh, yeah.
even if all these clubs would be audited today, they are spending more money which is going into people's pockets. That's all. They're not putting into football. The player is bought for local, 70 million kwacha. 70. You go to the accounts of the club, 20 is reflecting or 15. A player is sold to France. They pay 40. We lost a golden opportunity at one time. A player went to France. He was sold for $40,000. It came here. Now, unfortunately, the money didn't go into the accounts of the company. Just disappeared. Wait. And then the player in France became homesick. He said, no, I'm going back to Zambia. He came back here. Are you with me? So the club in France and the agent says, no, we need a refund.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he comes there, he meets the management. The management says, what money?
There's no money here.
Refund you. Which money? These are not things which went out in the public those days. But the agent stayed in Lusaka, Pastor, for 2 solid months. I was first chairman at the time. 2 solid months. He stayed at Intercontinental, trying to negotiate that $40,000. It never reached the club. When the club was finally disbanded by management, I said, there you are.
But the point is, I'm looking at Coach Sakala. The players he put on trial when we played them on Saturday for a friendly game, brilliant boys. And he's a good coach. So now, when you bring in...
Kudos to you, Sakala.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Now
so
you
much.
bring the money issue into focus. Will these players find an opportunity to go? Because first it was matter. My wife and I have just started this Camnet TV because Camnet Stars. We have the international connection
Okay.
and exposure in Brazil, in Europe, and all I'm saying is let me get the players that I can send
No,
into Europe.
Pastor,
Yeah,
they
so
won't let you have
Yeah,
them.
no, they can't.
Like,
They won't let you have them. Because is it guaranteed that they will eat something?
Well,
They're demonstrators.
forget about Brother Masha.
Sir.
Here, it's not about us. It's about the boys.
But they don't mind.
About the boys.
They don't mind, Pastor. They don't mind. All they want is their pockets to be full.
I think,
Coach Sakala.
So what are the
think
problems?
those are the things that I think we have put in front. I think at our club. I think when we started, I think we went into underprivileged homes, okay, to get those boys. I think when I started that team, I think my father here, Mr. Smatanos, I communicated with him. I think they were about 15, 16 years when I started that team. Okay, I started molding them since 2018. There was nothing, but I kept telling them, all I want is for you to better your lives. Okay. I may not have anything to give you now, but you will appreciate me in future.
Absolutely.
Let's put everything in God's hands, and God is going to see us through. And they're the boys that have stood with me until we went into Division 1, one promotion, and won the league, and one promotion to go to National League. So our interest with the guys that I'm with my friend Chembe is to look at the plight of the players. We want them to better their lives so that they can change the life of the family. So if for instance, maybe like my father here saying, an opportunity comes for them to go and play maybe for a bigger club or maybe outside, I think we have spoken with him. Let's not look on what we want to get now from them. No, we give them out to the teams. When they make it there, they'll better their family's life, and they'll still remember us. Okay, so those are the things that we have put forth, and we have been telling the boys to remain committed, to have passion in whatever they are doing. So I think
One
that has
in
been
a
the
hundred.
core. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, smart.
Oh, yes.
My free advice to both Makundika Sakala as a head coach and the director, executive director, Madam MD for Camnet Stars is, and I'm not charging you, I'm just giving you free information, is that the players that get you into a higher league from the lower divisions, Smart, will tell you, will not sustain you in the bigger division where you've gone. That is the more reason why teams like Kafue Celtic, which is believed to have played the best football display in the Super League, were dropped not because they don't know how to play football. Is you need quality, you need experience, you need maturity, you need exposure at a bigger stage. If you have to get into the bigger stage, which is Super League, is it Super League?
Super League.
From where you are now,
Yeah.
you need at least, if Smarta can correct me, a minimum of 4 senior players. 1 at the back, 2 in the middle, and perhaps 1 or 2 in front.
But Masha,
yes,
if they want to stay there, if they are going into Super, for instance, or Division 1 to stay,
Okay.
I will. But if you are going for development, like we did at Makumbi in the first
Makumbi
time,
Stars, yeah.
he will tell you, we won our Division 2. We went into Division 1 South. And in Division 1 South, we then told all the players who had brought our team into Division 1 South that go. 7 players, Ketane, him, James Chamanga, and a number of them left.
Yeah.
Our players,
Okay.
they went to other teams. And we were relegated. But everybody was laughing, failure, failure. They didn't know the motivation.
Exactly. Just like in our case,
You get what?
just like in our case, Telesport Football Club.
And by the way,
Those days.
I am happy and sad for
Makundika.
Makundika. Happy that he's made it there. I can hear my principles in when
Yeah,
he's mentioning them. But
For
financing the club,
Oh yeah.
yes, financing
It's
that
very
club.
expensive.
It's extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Extremely expensive. At some point, my wife, Patricia Masuma, who's watching this program, said, let me listen to what this old man is going to talk about at Kamnet. At some point, she hated me, not because I'm not a beautiful or handsome husband, but I went into the manners of the family.
Oh yeah.
So, at the Telesport Football Club director for Kamnet, we produce exciting players that even Makundika will say, Lawrence Lubinda, Donovan Gondwe, Mwende Chiremena, Peter Chiremena, who was at the University of Zambia at some point in 2009, chosen by Hevrena and Patrice Bumela to go and play for Zambia while I was still at the University of Zambia there. And when it was time to go to the maiden Chan, my wife said, no, I didn't send my son to go and, to learn how to play football at the University of Zambia. He has to be an economist and be able to support the family widely. And therefore, players were there. The late Dennis Temulengo, the late Patrick Chilepa, Griffin Zuluwaire, and many others who played. And what we did is that we said, no, as management, we should not start selling these players. Now that we have developed them under the coach Dean Mwinde and Daniel Chilepa, we said, let's look for big teams where they can go and improve. They went to Power Dynamos, they went to Kito United, they went to Green Buffaloes, they went to National Service Green Eagles, like a player like KP Hachipuka. And now they are working. We negotiated that they must be given jobs, not to be paid money as Telesport.
If
So
you hear
we're
what
still
the
happy.
pastor said, the narration he has given, you released the players because your motivation was different.
Right,
It wasn't to become a rich man.
right.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Today's administrators, sorry to say, majority of them are not into football for the love of it.
Oh.
But for
Passion.
Yes,
come on,
they are not
For
in
money.
football for the love of it, or to manage it straight and correct.
Right.
No, it's what they are going to make. And those same people find themselves in the Football Association of Zambia also.
Also yes.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
So now, under 17, under 20, under 23
under
national
15,
team,
under 15.
those teams which are national become pocket. It's like a wallet. Okay.
Let's talk about
Right up number 5. Do you see the point? It's not open. It's not free for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. So if they meet another person there in the club, they will start picking players from that club because it's an arrangement. Sorry to say, it's a fact. It's a
Pastor
I think Pastor Chiruba-
before you come in,
Okay.
coach, I'll forget my thought. For Kamnet Stars, I have told you that while my colleagues are on radio, television, talking about development of football, what should be done, I am in rural Zambia doing what is called rural talent search and training. As I'm talking to you now, I'm in Chief Nkole's area, the area between Kapiri and Mukoshi. We have a program which is running there, rural talent search and training. What my technical bench is doing in there, let me say okay? Our technical bench, what they are doing now, Pastor Chiluba, is looking at exciting rural talent. Coach Sakala and Coach Musonda, we have always been saying in Zambia, singing this song at Murulo, Mulima players, Babino, Mongabini Fashion Sakala. And that's what in the rural of Chipata, rural. And some of the players who came from rural, Pastor Chiluba are Godfrey Chitaru from Mwansabombi, Alex Chola from Mwansabombi, Baton Mugala from in the bush of Kasama. Opikapita and many others from Green Buffaloes, where this man was. They came from Winuma. And then the Peter, Kawala and Tembos, they came from Eastern Province.
We are-
So We have to do something.
Before we call on John Simulambo,
The general of midfield.
the general of midfield, Coach Musonda.
Pastor Chiluba, I think I've read a lot from the same, and I've been thinking, I'm saying, where did we go wrong? I think on two areas that I'm looking at. First of all, is the money issue. We have taken the money first. Second one is technical. I'm looking at who are these guys who are grooming these youngsters in these academies.
Right.
Are they qualified to do the right job?
Are they certified?
That is the question. Now, modern coaching, these boys, they say conditioning training. They know conditioning training. Anyone can do conditioning training. But can you make a strategy? Can you make a strategy to win a match? Are you good at tactics? Do you understand the 11 formations of the world? That's number one. Conditioning training, anyone can do it. This is why we're collapsing, because players are coming from a background where they have no knowledge. If they're playing a team, they're playing Brazil are playing 4-1-4-1. Do they understand what it means? What is the strength of 4-1-4-1? Against us, when we are playing 4-3-3. That information is very, very important to the players. This is why I salute Pastor Chiluba to have got very senior coaches to groom the youngsters who are under 19 Cameron Stars.
Okay.
And you could see they are to raw, and they went to winning 14 games in a row because they have got massive knowledge. Whatever time we meet another team, we are under pressure, we will realize it, and then we'll say, boys, you have been put under pressure on this area. Is there number 3 and number 4 who is overlapping? Stop that, then we are going to hammer them. So we need that. Very, very important.
That Coach Musonda, it's because Coach Elijah Chikwanda, yourself, Walia, Mlenga, you are seasoned coaches. And the other thing, Vasmata, which I must tell you, like Coach Sakala was saying, you know, when we began this with my wife, the boys that we have, Coach Musonda can tell you, others have nowhere to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
My wife is renting a house for the boys. There are about 10 in there.
Well done, my daughter.
Yeah.
Well done.
And do we ask for money, Coach?
No, nothing.
Instead,
But you're 1 out of 100.
Yes, this is why your pastor, look at Bakundika, because he's coming through the ranks. There he is, he's making a team. But these others, you can't even trace where they're coming
Talk to
from.
me, Coach Sakala.
You can't trace where they're coming from.
You see, for instance, when we became Unza Stars,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I went into a deal with a super division side where I said to them, all those youngsters you've got clamoring around your club, let them play for me. And any of my players you see who's good,
Oh, yes.
let him come and play for you.
Right.
You know, all we want from you is footballs and jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
One player crossed. One. From all the potentials I had, who ended up in other clubs. You know what the problem was? Football and jerseys is not cash.
It's material support.
let's ask a veteran soccer player, your friend, Janice. Let's ask our veteran Janice Mulambo. There he is.
Connectivity? Is it?
Wait, Mr. Simulambo, let's sort out this technical issue. Mr. Director, please put him correctly. Just get back to us. He will say something.
Let him say, repeat what he's talking about now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's hearing, but the technical should work around that. Coach, you were saying?
Yeah, like I was saying, when I started with these boys, I think the issue of money was addressed. Okay, it's the first thing that I began to address to
Very
them.
important,
Okay?
yeah.
So I thought it was very important for me to address it as early, so that even as they begin to play, they know that okay, there's no money now, but in future who have some money. So even if they would stay 1, 2, 3 months without seeing anything, they will still play with passion. And these are the boys that I went to feature in Division 1 Central. They are 16, 17, 18. I think you saw some of them when you came. They are relatively young. I think Coach Ludes, the other time they came, they saw them. They are just young boys. And people, of course, they rose and said, nah, you are not going to manage in Division 1 with these young boys. I say, no, I believe in them because of what I've put in them. And I believe that they're going to do that to withstand. Okay, and we started our first game, Division 1 Central, with the same young boys. And I think we went on to play all the 34 games, losing 3 with the same under 19 and 18 boys. Okay, and from the first week of the season until the last week, we were on top and never dropped to position 2. Okay, with the same boys. Okay, so I still have the same confidence even as we go to National League. I'll still use the same boys. With 1 or 2 people that I'm going to fuse in from those ones that you saw, I think we're going to make something big. Okay, but it's the beginning. Even of those people that you are bringing, I think we also tell them what the core of the club is.
But you're not closing your shop, are you?
You see, there are many problems.
Oh yeah.
Many. But some of them, today's administrators and coaches are not on the same. It's like, you see, football is supposed to be like a railway, 2 rails
Oh yeah.
for the train to move. The coach has been relegated to a worker, an employee,
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
who can be hired and fired at
any
any
time.
time.
Wheeler.
By someone who knows nothing about coaching or even football.
Yes.
Are you with me? He comes in there hoping to make money. And then this coach is the one maybe he feels is responsible for his lack of it. So they are sacked. 3-4 games sacked. 3-4 games. There's no coordination. There's no freedom. Coaches don't have the freedom that. I remember working close to Moses Mara. 8 titles or 9.
Oh yeah.
Then later Ben Bamfuchile from Ghana. They had authority. And
They
I
had
don't
authority.
think the coaches today have that authority. Where they could drop players, recruit players, no management talk.
Oh
Today,
yes.
even the team
can't.
lineup is given by the manager.
Oh yeah.
He comes
No, I support him, Mr. Smarter.
Why are you playing this one? Play this one.
Oh yes.
Because you know what? That one is saying play this one. If he's written tomorrow in the newspaper or on video, he'll be sold. And the coach in the meantime has been told win the league. You know,
But Pastor, I'm
coaches of
supporting.
yesteryear had faith in the children. Look at Samuel Zumo Njovu
Oh yeah.
introducing Charles Musonda, 16-year-old boy, into Mfulira Wanderers. The story is told that the big players protested. Coach, ngaka kama nitumwaleta.
And it's an approach that I've taken, Sana. I'm playing school-going children now. They're the ones that won't be the league. School-going children. Because I know even him, even the time that he was coaching us, he never chose that you are a senior player, a junior player. He plays whoever is there.
So, but you see, how many coaches today can risk to do that? At these big clubs you've got. Bring in a Charles Musonda, 16 years old.
No. But Pastor, for information, I worked under him at City of Osaka Football Club. First game against Zanaco, he fired, I think 4 coaches who didn't do well. They had 4 games to go. And what happened? Mr. Smarter City was chairman. Now, I substituted Kadrik Siame and Sadi and Muhammad. You know the crowd what they were saying? Few days, you are fired today. These 2 players, you cannot take them out. But literally, they know what I told them in the dressing room. After the game, we drew 1-1. They went to Mr. Smarter and told him that coach told us something that we have never been told. And I put in Sakala and he equalized. We were down 1-0 and it was 1-1. And I was also saying,
The coach has to have the
power. You get my point. And we continued. And I won the last game against the Strike Rovers and City survived in 4 games. You get the point? Because he gave me everything.
That's why I said, Pastor, I'm not campaigning for this man to get a job. But what is wrong
He's
for
a
him?
cabinet.
Yeah, what is the problem?
Is the coach for cabinet?
Big teams like Zesco,
Yeah.
Dynamos, they'll come to you and say,
Too many politics.
Yes.
Director, we want this man.
No.
So we can say, we will give everything you want for cabinet.
The coaches at Cabinet, Ramasha,
I know that.
they are not for sale.
Okay.
And they are not for grab.
Absolutely. So the message to you with cabinet starts with my daughter there.
Yes.
Is that talk to me privately. What we are doing at Masha Chilemena Football School is not an academy. It's not a football team. It's a football school looking for specialized rural talent to improve. If you're going to tell a player, ask a player, Coach Msonda, that, what position do you play? In a midfield or my wings. So the coach, the technical bench, they work on specializing how this boy will be a great player. There is one boy, I will not mention the name. He is an absolute super, number 11. Super. I have not seen a player, I mean with due respect, in the Super League who can play like that little boy. But he needs to go to a team that can probably develop him further, like
Bring him to Cabinet.
So, but you need young ones, right? You need young ones.
No, we have even a bigger team now.
You should be about 21
There's
years
a change
Yes.
that has happened in football, which I think even the viewers need to be aware of, or are aware of. Zambian footballers of yesteryear, the Jan Simlambos, like we said, were not taught football.
No.
It was in them.
Absolutely.
It was like a wild fruit.
Oh, yes.
Huh?
They get ripe in their own, yeah.
That you
Matobo.
Oh, yeah.
Matobo munda.
Yeah. You just have to bring in Tonga.
To make you
I'm
understand.
going to bring Mahulu.
I told you.
What I'm saying is that
Yeah.
that football then could be played like that. Sir Stanley Matthews
Oh, yeah.
never played for England much. You know why? He used to refuse to be coached. He says, no, football, he cannot be coached. Either you have it or you don't have it.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
What? Yes. So the coaches, haven't you seen that he retired playing at about 51? But he's not much he was not even in the 66 team in England. That was the philosophy of that time.
Right.
You either had it or you didn't. Right? Now, here, it's different now. You need to train football. Like in other words, it's like we've gone in the bush, taken the seed and brought it to the farm. And we should plant it. Now that's where the linkage is not in existence today.
So let me ask this: are we ready with Jan Simlambo? The nation must know and see this hero.
Oh yeah.
You think of players. I saw at one time Ramasha, Modon Maritore, one of the Maritore brothers. He was injured in the head.
Yes.
Instead of being
With a big bandage.
with a big bandage, but he was still playing. And that passion is, where has it gone, please?
Yeah.
Huh?
I saw at one time with Simata when we played in Nigeria. What you call that boy? The one who was playing number 9? Yakini?
Yakini
Yakini. Literally, whether he was kneeling down, begging Modon Maritole, please, my brother, don't kill me. This is just a game.
You see, a lot of players, if you remember Chairman, Moses Smora,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
playing on the right wing.
Yes.
His arm was like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, catch that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Once
he was,
broke his
yes.
arm,
Yeah.
they still played. You see the point?
Oh, so that one was injured from Mose. I knew of Godfrey Star.
Most of the players today, just a little knock.
But look at players like Simata and Akim Musenge, that old man. He walks very badly, because he's got a hip injury, which he got in the national team. This Happy Sichikolo. He's running with an injury at Forest Rangers. I think he's at Forest Rangers. So
Who is this player who coached with Chitalo?
Alex Tor.
Alex John, computer.
Can you imagine midfielder?
That's the best
Attacking
dribbler
midfield.
this country has ever
My
seen.
goodness.
You see, after again, Bazumu's time, is not Alex Chola's time. The point? But those of us who had the privilege of watching both, they were the peak of their time.
Oh, yeah.
When it came to dribbling, nobody was better than Zumu.
No.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no.
When
For
it
sure.
came to dribbling,
Yeah.
Alex even brought in speed in dribbling
yeah.
and intelligence.
Right.
So that even made him a class of.
You remember Sumatra at the Independence Stadium there, when Zoom has got the ball, Pastor, the whole stadium will shout, Zoom, 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 Zoom. Just like the late Major Chama, Dick
Chama.
when he has the ball, the whole stadium will shout.
Yeah, but that is,
"Dee."
Marsha, that is the supporter we're talking about that
Exactly.
existed then.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Today the supporter goes to the stadium with a phone. He's-
Or a Mozi or
Yeah.
whatever.
Those days we named players. Any good player had a name.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So when he just touches the ball, the whole pitch will cry out.
Will shout.
That was the motivation.
While we are waiting for John Simulambo,
Right.
Coach Musonda, let's get into this. What will it take for us to restore that glory?
As
I-
the stars or the nation.
The nation.
nation.
I think I'm supporting Mr. Sumatra what he's saying. So I'm asking a deliberate question. The Football Association of Zambia, they must bring in a deliberate policy by stopping these vices, firing of coaches. Because if you fire a coach within 1 year, we bring another one. You are confusing the players. And not the same players are going to play for the national team. We can have a deliberate policy where a coach for a Premier League team must be given a 5 years contract. If you don't give that contract, don't sign the coach. Because that way we are going to improve. Are you understanding? Mr. Sumatra is saying like a line, yes.
An average of about 3 years.
Oh, yes.
To develop a side.
Oh, yes.
Unless
To develop?
a side that
Oh, yeah.
can win a league.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you are bestowed by a sponsor like Bromovic,
Oh, yes.
where you can buy a win.
Great quality, yes.
Are you with me? Not here in Zambia, where the players you have to really put them together and then 3 years.
It took me
minimum.
3 years.
But,
Oh,
Coach Musonda and Coach Sakala, this is where I bring my point to say, how can we get quality players that Smarta says they can play to win? It's not a question of asking questions, are we going to win? The players should be able to score when and yes.
Competition.
Okay? When and
You are saying
yes
how?
it's required.
How?
Let's give you answers.
Mm-hmm.
Competition. You want how? Competition.
But where are the companies to sponsor?
No. That is even further down the road. You see, for instance, if I'm 16, I should be feeling like it will be easy for me to get into the under 17 if I excel. Not if I can see Mr. Smarter who will talk to his friend, the president, so that I am called to the national team.
Yes.
That is what is in football today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Me, I remember I used to tell players, I said, no, don't talk to me about going to the national team. Show it on the pitch.
So are you saying that there are some good players who can play for the national team but they are not playing?
Yes,
Yes.
That's what
That is
I tell
true.
you.
This Pastor reminds me of Mr. Smarter again. He came up with a very nice project saying, let's form a provincial national team.
Are you saying my
Let's
project
say-
is not good?
No, I'm talking about the national team. He says, let's have provincial national team, under 17. You can only be picked to go and play for Zambia national team when you have been playing in your provincial national team. What does that mean? It means we have got 10 provincial national teams. Then the national team for under 17 will just go to Chipata and say, my friend, I'm looking for your number 2. Can I have your team assembled and play a club label so that I can see? Then the coach will see, nah, I don't want this one. He goes to Southern Province. He says, coach, can I see you? I want to see your number 2. Then he will see, no, I don't want this one. He goes to Commonwealth until he's going to find that number 2 for the under 17.
Okay.
Brilliant idea, but it was shut down.
In one of the forums, Smarta, as the former FAZ chairman, I did say that why shouldn't the Football Association of Zambia, arrange a meeting with all the senior, coaches in the various provincial, teams or the provinces, You have all these senior, teams, whether it is a Super League, whether it is at Eden, whether it's a provincial Division 1, and then bring them together, and you ask the senior coach that they have appointed with, and he talks to these senior coaches. So they tell him the philosophy of Zambian football, and they tell him, and then to give an opportunity, to this coach to say, Pastor, Coach Smata, can you give me a number 6? Coach Julius Msonda, give me a 7. Coach Sakala, I want a number 8. So that these coaches will be able to avail these, players of the various positions, to the coach. Now the question is, I said that about 2-3 times. Did this new coach be availed an opportunity to speak to the Super League, coaches, because we are in the middle of a competition, so that these various coaches could, give. It hasn't happened up to now.
Let me ask the director if we are having challenges with a Zoom. Please put James Mlambo online, and let's just talk on phone.
Sure.
Because he is an asset to this nation.
Sure.
And while we are waiting for that phone call, Coach Sakala.
And I think also to go to grassroots, I think we just need to go there. I think yesteryears, I think football in schools was so awesome. Mm-hmm. I think this is where we used to find schoolboy internationals coming from schools.
Even
but it later changed again. It later changed where now you just maybe have players, those that may be establishing in clubs, but not having even schoolboy internationals to play for clubs. Very sad. So
a very easy formula is to go back to the policy in government schools in yesteryear.
Mm-hmm.
They used to offer a kind of scholarship for good players. Yes. So you found a very good player would be at a primary school repeating grade 7 5-6 times.
Oh yes.
So that he plays for the school.
To support
And then the secondary school will pick up that player in Form 1. Are you with me? So you are able to have schoolboy international because the schools themselves were open to it. There were no community clubs those days.
Yes.
You remember
There were no
Richard
youth
Stevenson
groups.
from Kawase Secondary School?
Yes.
All of them, yeah.
Shambulo
All of them.
Ivana.
In fact, all of them.
To support this matters statement, Pastor, this idea of the secondary schools offering scholarships to sports people who are very good in football, I'll give you a practical example. Late Fanny Hangunyo, I saw him at Muzoka when I was on a track going to Choma Secondary School. That's where I was. So I saw there was a football pitch near the road, Coach Musonda. And people were shouting every time this boy got the ball. People were shouting. So we had a puncture.
Okay.
So I asked the driver, can I go and see why these people are shouting? He said, okay, go. I went there. Smarter, I saw this boy, Fanny Hangunyo. Very good chap. Very good footballer. And what I did, I went to Choma Secondary School. I saw my sports teacher, Mr. Mioba. Mr. Mioba is still alive. We thank God. If he's not there, his soul rest in peace. So I told him, bye. Kulimwana musankangunda bona kumusoka. Wali kuma bola wanyu ya magozi nali kuti. For smata, let me speak in English. I told the teacher, I saw this boy within a period of 15 minutes. He scored 3 goals. And then he said, okay, Masha, tomorrow I'll get a vehicle. The government, the secondary schools, Choma Secondary School minibus. We drove and we went there. We got to that village, the house. We found the mother and the grandmother, and the teacher introduced himself and said, look, this gentleman here, well, I was not a gentleman, I was a boy in school. He said, look, this young man told me about how good this boy is in football. I am giving him a space in Choma Secondary School in Form 1. He never wrote an exam, smata. Fanny Hangunyo, as you know, you were in the management at City of Lusaka. You nicknamed him Musankwa, isn't it?
Now, here is something. Brother Smata, you've been an administrator in this for a long time. I am not promoting my club, okay? We are limping, and we know where we are going, and we'll get there.
Thank you.
But what is the policy of government to look at people or clubs with passion, to just come up and say, okay, Pastor Chua, we see what you are doing. Here's the money, help this, or here's the... How does government come in? Or does it just support the national team and it ends up there?
No.
Before Samantha comes in Matthew chapter 7, verse 7, God, our Creator in heaven, has given us a provision of ask, you shall be given. Seek, you shall find. Knock, the door shall be opened. These three components, if you do them, God will open the door for you.
Firstly, Pastor,
Yes.
there's too much expectation from government. But Pastor, the government has got enough on its shoulders.
Right.
The citizens in a country should be able to take some of these things on. Are you with me?
Yes.
Not wait that you have a pothole on your gravel road. You want the government to come and
To
get
mend
the
it.
soil and come and mend it. No. I mean, you have 5 children. Eh?
Yes. Yes.
Are you with me? You are waiting for this big brother with 18 million children to buy you lunch. That's what we are doing now. It's very simple. Like right now, the environment, I've been involved with youth where I live in my village, to do with youth clubs, women's clubs. If you miss out on this CDF, I don't know whenever you're going to get such a chance.
Right.
Now, there is also sponsorships under the CDF. So it is very easy to just order the schools to open their doors. Yes. Order
You
them.
know,
All these youths who are training football at 10 o'clock, they have nothing to do, good players, can go to school tomorrow.
You know, I've asked this Brother matter because I was chatting with the ambassador who's born from here, Brazilian ambassador. In Brazil, there is a deliberate policy. You are a business person and you are an investor in there. You have to let go of the percentages to the communities because that to them, what do they call it?
Corporate social responsibility.
Corporate social. It's in black and white. You don't compromise on that. You remember, Brother Masha, when Copper Belt was doing well, all the mines, the Copper Belt teams
They had
were
a
being
component
sponsored
of
by
ZCCM.
ZCCM. So now here, ZCCM is no longer, and all the teams cannot go to Lumwana to be sponsored by them. I am saying, is there a government policy to say, okay, you
Not
company
that I
A,
know.
company B, we want you to help us. We've got so many responsibilities. Help us with the community in soccer.
In fact, the point I said earlier about wrong administrators coming into football was created by that pastor. You see, Dr. Kaunda's great vision when it came to sport for all parastatals to start getting involved. It was a brilliant idea.
Yes.
But the consequence of that is that, say, I work for ROP, refined oil products. Huh? I have no love for football. But because I'm maybe personnel manager, I end up being chairman of Ivory Rangers. That's the beginning of the
Strike
end.
Robbers.
That was
And then there are so many classes. There's one club on the Copper Belt I had to phone the chairman. That club, 3 executive members would come to Lusaka with the team. The team, with their coach, who was my good friend, would be camped at a 5th, 6th grade hotel. The 3 officials would be at a 5-star hotel. The bills for the 3 officials and the team were almost 50%, 50%. So I phoned the chairman. And I said, sir, my name is Smata. I don't want to wait until I hear that you have closed your club. But how can this be possible? Because I came from Usite. where, boss, you go, you sit at Concordia, you use your own fuel, you sleep at the hotel at your own cost. There are no allowances. You get the point? But now, if your company sponsors a club, the same conditions you enjoyed, the same conditions you enjoy in the workplace, you go with the football team, you enjoy also. Expenses.
Okay?
And so people are doing it for a job. They're not doing it for the love of the sport.
Let's pick up the text messages and the phones. Let's get involved. We are waiting for Jan Simulambo. He will get through and we'll give him all the time. Let's get what has gone wrong. How can we restore the image? Because I tell you something, Brother Masha.
Yes, sir.
Cabinet Stars, we have come here with a vision.
Okay.
We will contribute significantly to the soccer in this nation.
Sure. Yes.
I may not have the money
No,
to pay the players,
Okay.
but just watch where we are going.
If you have the right motivation, 2003, I was privileged to be in the All Africa Games team. And when we get into Nigeria, I made friends with a few of them, and one of them brought a novel or a book that I read while we were in camp there. It was talking about the way Nigeria changed its football.
Oh, yeah.
They came here, I think it was Matero Stadium, Zambia beat them 5-0.
Oh, yeah. From that time, yes.
Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
When they went back, they sat down and said, no, such a small country. That time our population must have been about 5 or 6 million. Beating us 5-0. What is it that they are doing right? Do you know at that time, Zambia had 3 national teams.
Really?
A, B, and C.
Oh, yeah.
There's a time we even took part in 3 tournaments with 3 different teams. Ask Vajani, he's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eastern Central,
That
send
is-
another team.
That is how Nigeria changed their football and patented that same scheme. Do you get what I'm saying? So what's gone wrong? One, we don't post-mortem. When did we last post-mortem our game? The Germans failed to win the World Cup. They went home, tore up the coaching manual, and said, "We are strong. We have a lot of mental capacity, but we are not skillful. Why is our football like this?" They came to a 4 versus 4. The Germans, the Brazilians, when they went 3-4 World Cups without getting there or to the finals that we were used to, you know what they did? They post-mortemed and realized that no, our players are Brazilian. Suddenly now Brazilians were in Europe. It was not for them to go and make money. It's to go and understand the mentality of the European players.
Okay.
So that now when
brilliant
they go
idea.
back to Brazil, they know what to expect of
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The point is here, when do we postpone not just this current executive from behind?
And we have gone for 3 consecutive
From
times
when
without.
do we post-mortem to say what went wrong? What's wrong with our football? Huh? And it's an open forum, not where you invite your friends or those who speak well of you or are afraid of you.
Let's see.
So, but-
Let's pick up one message
Okay.
there. If there are messages, Mr. Director, please put the messages, phone calls, messages until Janice Mulambo comes here. Let's have some messages from the people and see some questions that are coming from there. In the meantime, Brother Masha, while we are waiting for the messages, you wanted to contribute.
I want to go back to Coach Makundika Sakala's statement, where he said, I don't know whether it was him or you or Smarter, but I thought it came from him, to say one of the major problems that we have is having no reserve leagues. City of Lusaka are playing at 15 hours against Mufulira Wanderers. What's happening between 10 o'clock and 15 hours?
Do you know what stopped that? Juju.
They're laughing. Is there a juju in football? Is there a juju? Is it
Beliefs
really
are
working?
there.
Beliefs are
Others
there.
will come, walk
The
into the
belief is
pitch
there.
backwards.
Do you know why women do not play at grounds where male football is taking place? Same. These are beliefs. Huh? When the women play,
There
as
is
Captain
a
Reza-
call.
Okay.
Let's pick up this call. Hello,
Right.
good evening. Hello. Good evening. What a program with all such wonderful ideas.
So
we are having
we have
challenges
to work on our
everywhere. Yes.
mental capacities.
Right, right. But don't you think smart coaches here that the reintroduction, I'm not taking over from you.
No, that's what Coach
The
Mukunda was saying.
reintroduction of the reserve leagues would contribute, to the heightened standards of football. Maybe let's get that from the coaches.
Yeah, I think it should give us an edge because, like what I do, if we don't get chance to play with those other players that are left in the team at 1 o'clock, if the pitch is being used, I also encourage everybody who is not in the team to go and watch, because now the mentality of players those players that are not in the team, if you don't pick them in the team,
They don't turn up.
They don't turn up and they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
watch their friends. So
yeah.
if you get now Smarter to put him in the following week to play, he's coming differently with what his friends was doing. Why? He did not even watch
Oh, yeah.
the player that he is playing with in that same position.
remember-
Coach Msonde?
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's the point. You see, when you have got a reserve team,
Yeah.
it's very important
Because
for them
they'll be there. After they play,
they must learn.
They'll watch their friends. They'll learn from there. So when you pick this player who is from outside to put him there in the main team, it's going to perform exactly to what you want. Yeah, to the expectations. But if he doesn't even watch the game, what do you expect from him?
Master Chiluba, I learned football from the touchline from Green Buffaloes as a boy. You can imagine. I was only 12 years, lying on the ground at Independence Stadium, watching Bernard Chanda, all these guys, how they could turn the ball, how they could control the ball. I'm watching. I one time watched Zambia versus Zaire, were beaten 2-0 at the Independence Stadium. I went home at Yemas, they were crying. My brother said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "No, the Congolese could not stand at attention when the Zambia national anthem was being played. No, the national anthem was being played. The Congolese were not standing at attention. To me, I started crying. I said, "These guys, they can't even respect our national anthem." They were shaking their thighs. I was watching them. So when we were beaten 2-0, I go to my brother, "Look, they were shaking their thighs when there was national team anthem being played." He said, "Oh, those are Congolese." You can imagine. And we lost 2-0. The passion, yeah.
That's the juju from Smarter.
The beliefs are there. The beliefs are there, sir.
Don't trivialize what I'm saying.
But
No. I totally
You know,
agree.
I
Because
saw-
I know what is happening.
I
yeah.
saw a
Absolutely.
documentary with my wife about the big teams in South Africa. They used juju actually.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
They were dropping there, and this private investigator went with that. Even here in Zambia, brother.
They put the salt in their boots,
Oh.
in their
No,
socks.
but you see, it's beliefs like if the reserve side plays first, that juju we prepared will be diluted.
Oh, yeah.
You get the point?
Oh, yeah.
It is beliefs like if the women's friends, our women's team is in the Africa Cup, right?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, congratulations to them. They got a point.
You get the point?
Yeah,
Our women's
they
team
drew 0-0
is
with
in the Africa Cup right now.
Yes, in Morocco.
Please go down, go and visit the women's teams. They play at primary schools. In grounds which have ridges. Huh?
With the stones in there.
They should be okay, even if you don't bring reserve side.
Oh, yeah.
For me, the curtain raiser to the games should be women's sides.
Absolutely.
But that will not happen. Because your coaches have these beliefs about women.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's why they even say no camping, what.
All this, yeah.
You know, all
But
those
at
things.
this point, it's matter. We, in terms of preparations, we really need to give a credit to the current association because they've taken the girls everywhere.
Of course, the girls' team is doing well.
And the junior teams, under 23, except that under 23 are quiet, nothing is happening. But under 20, under 17, under 15, they're doing very well. And the girls seem to be doing very well. They've been together for the last 3-4 years, Pastor Chiluba. And I think, Smarter, you must have found, the women football when you came in, or it came during Mr. Teddy
women's football.
Mulonga? Yeah, during Mr. Teddy Mulonga's time, that's when it came, So now the women's football is really developed. Look at the last
It's
World Cup.
developing.
Look at
Developing, yeah.
developing. Yes, that's good English. I don't know where you learned your English. Very good. Thank you for that. And when you look at the World Cup smarter of the women in the last World Cup, full to capacity, full to the rafters. So that tells you that women football is reaching good, interesting, levels. Our women qualified Pastor Chiluba to the Olympics, which is more or less the semi-World Cup, for African teams. And Zambia represented the continent of Africa, this great nation, through the women. No wonder they say you educate a woman, you educate the whole world. Our women, we must be proud. From Wansabombe to Livingston, from Chipata to Namshakende, in the Barosland, where my young comrade comes from. Football at women level is superb. It is only now that we won that Comoros, but surely smarter. Sakala and Musonda, Muzo.
After struggle.
Are we in the same class with these Comoros?
Not at all.
Absolutely not.
But that is the change.
Okay.
You should also respect.
Yes, yes.
Those of you fossils, dinosaurs.
That doesn't leave you.
I don't look anywhere near like you.
No, but I won the Africa Cup in
The point is this.
so I can't be compared.
Once upon a time,
This
we
is
could beat Lesotho 9-0.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Swaziland and the rest. Football has changed in
changed,
that area. Have we changed with it? Or we're still in that mentality that I to Lesotho?
Kaidi kuna ni bazungu bekabeka wako chinga.
No, compressors also are skilled.
That's what is killing us. Yeah.
Even the coaches hapa.
Compressors
That's what
are
is killing
skilled.
us.
Because when we see a team like Comoros, if Comoros is coming, we just look at Comoros. We used to beat them 8-0. So we go with that mentality.
Are you the same
that
team?
we
That's
are
the question.
going to win. So compressors creeps in. So and when we go on the field of play, remember it's 11 versus 11.
Yes.
And these other teams they've got 2 legs, you've got 2 legs. Remember? So what happens there now? It's 22 players on the field of play. It's battle now, and you find Comoros now we want to stand 50-50 with us.
Oh, yeah.
So that football of going to beat Lesotho by 9-10-0 is long gone now because
But
football,
coach
Look at Iceland.
Coach
Look at
Musonda.
Iceland in the World Cup, in this last World Cup. Croatia in the last World Cup.
They played very well.
So you see, football has also moved
Yeah.
from those days where we walked over.
Yeah.
No, we are still boasting about
But,
they are not in our same league.
and yet when you play with them now, what happens?
Even though, Ramasha,
Yes, sir.
even though football has changed, may I, with all due respect, say, we don't have strikers.
Well,
who
that's
have
very
got
true.
the
That's why I'm
edge
saying.
for the goals.
That's what I'm saying. We
We
must
don't have
look.
strikers, we don't have people who can make the difference on the pitch.
And therefore we must
Ramasha.
search. Pastor Chiluba, we must search.
You see, strikers on the pitch are not playing alone. It's not lawn tennis. Neither
Or
is it
golf.
boxing or golf.
They must have other people
They
to
are
feed them.
playing with
Other
the whole
players.
team.
Yes.
You know, there was a time in our league, Nkana had Kenneth Baditore. Power had, what's his name again?
Chancer. Wisdom
No,
Chancer.
nickname
Robson Kilani?
Paymaster.
Master
Small
Mwaba.
boy,
Kelizmo.
Let's see
Mwaba.
somebody.
your team, you were Masha. Your
Mighty.
team in Mufrida had that boy who was very good at headers.
Pochela.
Pochela.
Now, if you look at all those
Joseph
players,
Ngupe.
Kenneth Baditore, Pochela, Paymaster, in themselves they were not good players. Okay, let's
Oh, yeah.
accept.
But they were banging in goals.
But the rest of the team was working for them. Do you know what Kenneth was called at Nkana? Babo came from Warriors to scold him or to because he was dark. That is a nickname from Warriors. The nickname at Rokana was Mulangeni.
Mulangeni goalkeeper. Mulangeni goalkeeper.
Mulangeni. Kenneth, you have the ball. You showed him. You showed him. Cup. He will move there and
bang it.
Yeah, but
40 goals in one season.
But
Oh, yeah.
Sumata, back
And
to
you
the
know
question.
No,
Back to the
the
question.
point is that when you in football, when you lack, say strikers, ask yourself, Abad Kuno,
What are they doing?
what are they? Are they giving assists?
Yeah.
What
We
are
have
their
the
assists
shooters.
now?
In fact,
Create
yeah.
for the strikers. Yeah.
In fact,
There
we
is
are
a time he will tell you in my football coaching, I didn't have strikers in the team. I used all these guys. We played the 4-6-0 formation. First one in the 18 is a striker. So strikers for me is not a problem.
I think that's how I changed the Pastor.
your
I
team.
think that's how I changed the time that Mr. Smata is saying. I was a midfielder, but converted to a striker.
In fact,
So, Pastor Chiluba, one of the issues, Pastor Chiluba and my colleagues here, is that these two coaches here, the soccer fans outside, they are complaining because they go to the media. No, these boys are untrainable. One of the Zambian senior coaches issued that statement to the press. So that affected the player. So back to your very important question, I've also raised such issues. Where are the Zambian Silotas, the Gibbon Chewes, the Fanny Hambunyus, the Godfrey Chitalu?
If you look at Godfrey Chitalu and Kito United, there was a player nobody knows about or very few can remember. Dick Severe. Dick Severe was the waker.
For you,
Godfrey was the finisher.
Exactly.
You get the point? Yeah. When you go to Cabo Warriors, there was my big man Stevenson, was my Boniface, feeding.
And the Gibbs
And Sunday Kapos.
You go to Nkana, for instance, Kazika this side, go to Muselepete.
On the left.
Who are they looking for?
They're looking for
The players today, boss. They read the newspaper before it is printed. No, I'm telling you.
it's right, for sure.
Even in the national team, I see players like that. They play to the crowd.
Oh, yes.
And the crowd actually encourages it. He won't give the ball.
Absolutely.
His face is open.
To augment Smata's point of view, that there must be a waker who is what is called in English name now or description, an attacking midfielder. That was Johnson Rambo. He is only working for Benachanda or is working for Godfrey. His job is to find the ball, pull the team together, look for Benachanda and put him in what you call, a scoring position. He doesn't have to struggle. No.
Those passes.
I played number 8 Mundala in Youngstown, where I was playing shirt number 8 using the right leg, the left leg. Perhaps during that time of the 70s, I was the only player who could play at position number 8, but using a left leg. But listen to this, I broke my right leg, not the left I was using. So this is what happens in football. We need to find workers that are working for other players.
But
Smata here will tell you,
when the headline is no longer the team but the player.
Smata will tell you at a team called, this little team called Manchester United. They used to have a player called George Best. He never trained from Monday, to Thursday. He comes for training on Friday because he knows that he will be in the team. Then he plays on Saturday. He scores 3 goals. He goes to the coach. Substitute me, put the people who are training. And nobody scores. So maybe it is very, very important. It's very important. Yes.
What we are discussing here,
it's just
about, it's like a basket.
Yeah.
A basket has hose. So you go to the river, you want to use a basket to draw water.
And you pour water there.
So it starts coming out. And then you start fixing the hose. But every time you fix one, another one breaks. You fix one, another one breaks. That is the situation of our football.
Yeah. In the rural Zambia, Smata, there are players there.
All of us. It will take all of us, my pastor, to bend backwards and put Zambia first. Zambia, not Smata, not Marusha,
Sonda,
Kamanga.
No.
Let's take up the text messages that are there and hear what the program is good, but why cancelling inter-schools league and inter-district games, especially in the rural area?
I think this is one of the things that I talked about. I think we have to seriously go back to schools. And
rural areas.
The football there.
That's why it's
putting a lot of investment in rural football, and we're going to get good players. Because good players are mostly in rural areas where we have not gone now.
And that's where I am. Smarta here saying the
Pastor
very
Chiluba.
important point, Coach Msonda, former FAS chairman said, it must take a government policy
Yes.
through the Minister of Education, Honorable Douglas Shakalima, to impose an instruction that all public schools must introduce football as a career in all these schools. Then, only then, shall we produce what you call the quality players from there. Then we'll have international players at schoolboy internationals.
Marsha,
Yes, yes,
the sports master at those schools, they want allowances. You are laughing. Why do you think these things have died? There's also a side.
So it's all about the Muslim.
Why do the
We used
sports
to have Boy
masters
Scouts.
get
We used
paid?
to,
And yet they
we
get a
used to have
salary.
Boy Scouts in all schools.
Yes,
Almost.
yes.
And then they started demanding allowances.
Yeah.
If they are called for a meeting in Kurusaka, then they must be paid per diem. You get it? No, do the schools have? So, do we have the heart for this thing? We don't.
No.
We don't. No.
You know, Brother Masha,
Yes, sir, Pastor.
because of the players, they come from different backgrounds. Coach Musanda can tell you here. My wife prepares in Shima early morning when the boys are going to play. They're under 19.
Yes.
And we pay them a token of 50 kwacha each, winning allowance. No, they don't pay a single way to the academy, do they?
Oh, it's no, nothing.
We keep them and we are treating them like kings because we know they were born for greatness.
Yes.
And all we want is to prove to this mother Zambia that Zambia has got talent.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Talent is there.
Zambia is a footballing.
Oh, yeah.
But Pastor, it's like Yamasuko.
Eh,
Huh? It's there. They are all over in these bushes. You know? What we need now in modern football is to take the seed or the leaves or whatever and start growing farms. We can't keep relying on natural talent. Now, in Europe, they start them at 3, 4 years.
Catch them young.
yes.
Catch them young.
Do we have the infrastructure to do that?
No.
And who has the time to coach the 5 years?
Even the patients.
And they want to be paid.
You remember at your seat of Lusaka, Smarta, when you were the chairman there, we used to have a small team at Woodlands Stadium that people called Chinena. Chinena Upcoming Stars. You remember?
He was
Those
the founder of Zambia Youth Football.
those small boys,
Okay.
Pastor Chiluba, they used to entertain the public before City of Lusaka would come at 15 hours. So City at that time, City Obeba, Viva City, they would groom these boys from that, I think it's 8 or 10 or 12, ages, and then they'll go into 12. By the time they are 17 years, City of Lusaka had wonderful players. And I know that is a common program that was happening at every club, big club in the country.
Let's pick up
we
some
don't do
more
that.
text messages. Give us, Mr. Director, help me to read those who've got good eyes.
I won't try.
Good evening, Pastor Chiluba and the panel. The problem of not sharing quality players is real.
It's true.
Imagine some provinces not being represented in the Premier League.
We have a first man here.
Surely, can a province fail to come up with one strong team which can make it to Premier League? Administrators needs to be talked to know that football is a team game.
In terms of selection of the
What do you
footballers,
say? Yeah.
he is a former FAS chairman. What is the criteria which this brother is asking?
Yeah.
What is the criteria of choosing these footballers to play into a particular team at a particular football division level?
And this is what you said, Coach Musonga.
Yes.
That there used to be provincial national teams. Did you say national?
No, the
There was a
provincial.
proposal.
There was a proposal from
proposal.
Mr. Smarta, yes.
There was a proposal that every province should
Must
have a
produce.
provincial
National team.
team, under 17, under 20,
Yes.
under 23,
and
senior.
the senior provincial
Every
teams.
province.
Which could have been better.
Super.
Are you with me?
Fantastic.
Then we went further to say that the 10 under 17s at the district level, Lusaka,
They
are
meet.
supposed to also have a Lusaka under 17, under 20, under 23, and the senior team. For Lusaka,
At Lusaka
for all
district.
the Lusaka teams, and the 116 districts.
Why
Oh,
didn't
yes.
you implement that?
That is, I'm not in FASA. I can
No.
only suggest.
They wanted to make the decision.
I cannot
The administrator.
I just want to echo to
Yeah.
the question that was raised. Okay, take for instance Southern Province. And now the one who sent a message talking about a province without having
A
team
single team
in the Super League.
in the Super League.
Take for instance Southern Province. Yes, we don't have a team in Super League. So
No,
what-
we've got Tonka 20.
oh yeah,
Green Eagles.
Green Eagles.
And now
yeah.
Musa.
Musa now. What they're saying is, if a province does not have a team, maybe to represent them in the Super League, maybe maybe the team that finishes top, maybe they don't make it into National League. These are the teams that had good players. What is it? Share with this team that is
And
already
come together.
and come together so that
And support
when next
the
they
team which is
go to
on
play
top.
in playoffs, they qualify to go into National League. I think,
I'm not afraid
yeah.
to give my suggestion. I've said it for the last 20 years.
You
Oh, yeah.
said it.
Yeah.
Right? Number one, Lusaka. We have how many teams in Super Division? In Lusaka.
Probably 67.
Why? In Lusaka, we should have maybe one or two.
Yes.
Preferably City of Lusaka and Lusaka Tigers.
The community teams.
Oh, yeah.
Move Green Buffaloes to Mansa. Move Red Arrows to Livingstone or Chipata.
Oh,
Okay?
Mbala.
Oh, yeah.
Move Zanaco to Mongu.
Uh-huh.
You know what you will be doing? Even developing the infrastructure.
Yeah, you are
as well.
spreading.
Oh, yeah.
You get the point?
Brilliant
And
idea.
then the catchment for Western Province will be Mongu, not Nkana, not Lusaka.
Oh,
The
yeah.
catchment.
Yeah.
All the good players in the Western Province will find it easier to walk to Mongu.
It's a good idea.
Yes.
You get the
Good
point?
idea.
Oh, yeah.
Good idea.
Move everybody, Power Dynamos out of Kitwe to Solwezi or something like that.
We're going to have smart
Why not?
the infrastructures of David Kaunda Stadium, which FIFA has said they must develop it to the level of international standards.
Where is that?
In Chipata.
They are everywhere.
They are
David Kaunda is in
Chipata,
every provincial center.
Kasama Stadium, what you call the Kaole Stadium, the Soresi, Independence Stadium. FIFA has instructed and working in conjunction with the Football Association of Zambia and the contractors right now as we speak. The work is going
But-
on.
but
Now,
you-
who's
see-
going to use that stadium if City of Lusaka are not there? Who's going to use the Kaole Stadium when Kashikishiki, is it Kashikishi, is
Kashikishi.
one of the Super League teams, Lusaka Dynamos and Cabo Warriors are not playing in there? What about Kasama Stadium? So we need to spread this development of football, as Samantha says,
Let's
so that
speak-
we can have a huge
And
encatchment
now
of
they have
footballers.
wonderful buses.
Yes, yes.
They can sleep in those buses.
Let's pick up another text message. I must
Brilliant,
apologize.
yes, brilliant,
I
message.
must apologize to the nation that we are unable to bring Janice Mulambo on this program. We have technical challenges, seriously, and we promise that by the grace of God, we have to unveil this man to this nation. People don't even know Janice Mulambo is there and is a born-again, spirit-filled Christian, and just wonderful. But let's take up the more text messages, Mr. Director. Evening Indeed Cabinet is a good channel, Pastor. You have passion for the channel. We enjoy politics, farming, football, and bringing the lost to Christ. Have enjoyed the program. We need to bring back school football, both primary and secondary levels. We shall manage. This is Lawrence from Kitwe.
Good message, college football, secondary school football, the university football. This is fantastic.
Give us another text messages
Brilliant,
so that
Cotton
these
says.
people can
Excellent.
What is happening to Barbara Banda? Is there any possibility of her to play in the tournament? CAF said they are not aware what is happening. Is there anything, I don't know about this.
Let's get it from the man who is closer to the corridors of power, and that's Smata Smata.
No,
as a former first chairman.
I have been reading about this story.
But what is the story?
The reason I
The
talked
story
about
is that
Smata
she
is
has
that
not qualified to play as a female player. Right? Now CAF said, we've never said that. And we are waiting from FAS
to let us know.
to let us know.
Just
what
like the
is
case
their
of
position.
Usimenya in South Africa,
South Africa.
in athletics.
Okay, let's get to the another text message. Hello, good evening, panelists. Good program it is. The solution to our football is to introduce competitive school football
Sure.
and engage competent sports masters. From John Sichangwa Kitwe, former
come to that,
General
Pastor.
Secretary for Zambia Youth Football Association.
Excellent.
Excellent. But before we talk
We
about
appreciate that.
Let me give
Before-
an example. Masha, let me say.
Can
No,
we
let
get
me-
some more?
let me
then
go
we'll
back to
answer.
Barbara. We don't have a first official here to give us the status quo of Barbara, why she's not playing, and why invite her if she's not going to play.
Okay, give us, I think the suggestion also from our former General Secretary,
See, fantastic.
school football. These are brilliant ideas. Another text, one after another. Football is a process and deliberate steps have to be taken to arrive at success. It's not a random event. The answer is youth development.
Absolutely.
Personally, my experience with the AfriSport FC attests to this. We produced Rainford Kalava, Jacob Mlenga, Stopile Suzu, Emmanuel Mbola. We need to return to schools and strong youth development system. Honorable Dr. Kalila, MP.
Youth
Okay.
development.
From what time?
Dr. Kalila-
Yundas results.
Yeah.
Dr. Kalila there. Oh,
Dr.
let's read
Kalila
this
was-
last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is the players themselves are indisciplined, especially when outside the team. They are also not prepared mentally how to handle the resources they get, I think, vis-a-vis money. They spend time on women, alcohol, dirty haircuts, poorly dressed, torn jeans and trousers.
Excellent.
No, Dr. Kalila,
Yes.
you know, supported and sponsored, you know, AfriSports in Kitwe.
Really?
We didn't know AfriSports. So
Dr. Kalila.
No, I'm talking about AfriSports. So Mr. Gabriel Kaunda worked so hard with Dr. Kalila to improve the football at what you call that ground where they are playing?
Mapiri.
Mapiri grounds. So Dr. Kalila, what you're saying is very true. And therefore, Dr. Kalila, with the football that you are sponsoring and helping the development of AfriSports. Where is AfriSports? Please, Dr. Kalila, give me a call after this program, 0977 47 66 40. You brought a very important point, which is going to help develop Zambian football. And that's why we
The
insist
director
that
will
the
give
minister-
you
That's what he said.
his phone
Yeah.
number.
Okay, the director.
We are getting the phone number.
Okay.
He will give you
Okay.
so that you can talk to them.
Okay.
And Brother Smart, have you heard what
Yes.
everyone seemed to be saying? School.
I
school.
was privileged
School football.
to head the delegation of Zambia national team to play at the inauguration of President Mandela. We arrived at the football ground almost around 12. The first game that was played was between South Africa national team versus Northern Province, I think, or Northwestern
Select.
Province Select. Do you know what age? 10. And that was in 92, 93, or 94, about. So I turned to my colleague, the late Sticks, Morewa, and I said to him, "What's this?" He says, "Our youth development program. We have a national team under 10. You get the point? That's what Dr. Kalila is talking about.
Yeah.
If a player is found at 13, that's a bit too late. for international
Oh, yeah.
and for world class. Sorry to say. They want them below 9.
As a matter of fact, do you know, Coach Musonda will tell you, we have the request right now for some boys to go and play in Europe. You know what age they are looking at? They said, Pastor, bring the 17, 18, 19. 20, they are too old.
Yeah.
Now you can imagine, these are top clubs
Oh, yeah.
which want that age, between 17, 18, 20. So I said, look, we have got some big boys here. They said, okay, if they are not more than 25, bring them, we will take them. They mentioned to 2 countries, which I would want.
Thanks.
At this time, Brother Masha, I'm appealing through my coach that if we administrators are not going to be selfish, let those who feel they've got players, or players themselves who are listening, who are not attached to any club, let them to come and start, especially the strikers
Oh, yeah.
and the wingers.
Okay?
They are big
You
dogs.
see, you have to have a heart for this thing.
Yeah.
Huh? Make your life elsewhere. You know, banking, mining, farming, make your money there. Come to football with a heart to help it.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, if you are going to... We had a player, I remember a few days, Chanda Wadi.
Oh, yes, that boy.
Oh,
Terrific
Chanda,
player.
one went to Portugal?
In
Yes.
Portugal.
Okay.
Guimarães,
Yes, yes.
top tier, scouted him and wanted him. They came here. I facilitated with the parents, everybody. They asked us at City, how much do you want? I said, no, take him. After 1 year, come, we'll discuss. 2, Chanda, where you're going, it's not Guimarães. It's every team you play against. Shine. Give them a hard time.
Okay.
I even gave an example of Antonio Boa.
Oh, yes.
Antonio Boa entered Europe through Germany, Division 3.
Yes.
When Frankfurt played his team in a cup game, they saw him and he was gone. You get the point?
And that's the
Now-
problem, Brass
now-
Matter. Most of these
When I
players
left-
are
Oh,
missing.
yeah.
Or lost elections. They got paid from. They wanted the money. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
So the
The
change
change
look
was
at
Mario.
developing the player.
Oh, yeah.
Or even the player going there to develop
Oh, yes.
and go to even bigger clubs than Guimarães.
Where is this Chanda Wadi now?
He's around.
It's around.
Sometimes you should do, you know, go back. Don't rush for the money. What we are having here in Zambia is that if you go to a team now, Pastor, like you said at the beginning, that player is very good. Bring him on. Let's sign the deals, okay. But bring him to me, I take him. They won't until, and they've already got imaginations. Huh? They think a child from Zambia can be sold for $50,000, 100, $500,000.
$10 million.
Even these players we've got in England now, please understand, they didn't go to England from Zambia.
No.
From Austria?
Russia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You get the point?
China.
That's the gateway. Huh? All these, George Weah, he didn't go straight into Europe.
But
He went to Cameroon. Cameroon,
the point we are missing.
Ahmed all those big players, world class, they never went straight into England and started playing.
Smart
There
town.
is something, Masha,
Yes.
which people don't know. Do you know that Sadio Mane played the same team with Foyo Tembo?
Yes.
And Foyo Tembo was more deadly.
Oh, yeah.
And Southam-
Sadio Mane.
Oh, yeah.
Southampton.
Yeah.
They were together. The point is that even the soccer fans, I remember being called names over Mbesuma. Mbesuma went to Portsmouth. And when the league started, we're going to watch Portsmouth. Me, I posted on Facebook that if he's on the bench, he's lucky. You pull down, what? No, understand these things. I can't go into emerald mining and start giving advice. What do I know about mining? I look for the minors and ask. In Zambia, everybody's an expert.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
a
yeah,
problem.
yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then when you try and give your experience about something, they find the, oh no, hater, you know.
This
some
and that,
words.
yeah.
Smarter what West African brothers are doing in the names of President George Weah, Roger Miller, Drogba, Yaya Toure, who's this? Eto'o.
Eto'o.
In France, in Paris, they have built a 3-story, apartments where all these boys, pastor from West Africa, they simply go there and try to look for football teams, clubs in the lower ranks of Division 3, Division 4, Division 2. But accommodation was built by the Rogers, by the George Wares, and this is what they do to promote their young stars.
And I think
Our professional footballers, Smarter,
Can I take you
I
back to
felt that
2012?
they should do a little more to help their brothers in Zambia.
They went there to make their money. It's their money. In
But
2012,
I think also,
in 2012,
Pastor,
Pastor,
just a minute. I think also the problem here as administrators, when I say here, we are not united. We are too jealous of each other. We are not helping this nation.
We're not coexisting.
You don't have the capacity to grow and develop and take this player, but you
But
want
you're
them in your
committing on,
team.
yeah.
As long as they are winning, local or none.
in 2012, maybe you don't remember, but it pricked my heart when we beat Cote d'Ivoire. Remember? We won the Africa Cup. Did you see the attitude of some of our players towards Drogba? Palemuela.
Oh, yeah.
For missing that penalty,
Oh yeah.
for failing that penalty.
And he, at some point, even he stood still looking.
What is
He
this?
was shocked.
These guys are they privileged.
You're going to play with Drogba, same game, beat him. Me, I would be there to say, to carry something around him. Or even
And
say,
ask if
can
we-
I have your autograph?
number.
Oh, yeah.
I need your phone number, sir. After the game, I need to call you.
Absolutely.
If any club in Europe, Drogba calls them and says, oh, there's this boy I played against for
They will
Zambia.
be taken.
So how many of our players ended up in Europe?
Nobody.
It's the attitudes we have. We don't see opportunity.
Yeah.
We don't. We want to Lerodine. I had a player, I won't mention his name, at City. A club in Saudi Arabia scouted him. And that's where the late Harrison was playing. They came. We want money. How much do you need? How much do you want? I said, no. We don't ask for money. Take the player. But pay me his salary. They took him to Saudi Arabia. A month later, he calls back. Therefore, $2,000 converted at that rate to that time. He just went crazy, to be honest. So I phoned Harrison. I said, Harrison, Mama Zambians, Mwabashani, you failed to look after your kid brother. He's crying about hunger. And this Harrison says, Vachaman, here there are free food at corners in town. There are shops where there is free food. So if we were hungry, we would have gone to the free food. Just wants to come back. 2 months later, I get a phone call at City. Is that Mr. Smarter? Cell phones had come. I said, yes, it is. Oh, you've got a player here at the airport. I said to one of my officials that you go and get your son at the airport. Zambian players also have a problem.
The attitude.
And then too, even when they are out there in South Africa, instead of promoting their friend when he arrives, they're the ones who phone around clubs. Telling them, no, that one is a useless player.
Oh, yeah.
That one is, you get the point?
We can't,
They
yeah.
don't accommodate each other.
Calijo.
Yeah. And that attitude, unfortunately, also has to change.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, I don't know, time does not permit me. We are in 2 news time, but really, I can tell you I'm very burdened and passionate. My wife and I have come on the block with these coaches.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
With these coaches,
Welcome.
we have believed God
Yes.
that we will bring and contribute to soccer storm in this nation.
Absolutely.
Let the people watch us.
The boys were born
Oh,
for greatness.
absolutely. And all I can appeal, let me look in this camera. If you are a striker, you are a winger, midfielder, or if you think from 1 to 11, you are good to play soccer. Ask your club. I want to try Camnet Stars. When you come, I'm not promising you mountains of money, but I'm promising you a better future.
Absolutely.
If you come, you are passionate, you are burdened, you thank God someday that you joined Camnet Stars. Let me begin with Honorable Smata. Your last remarks, Coach,
I want to make a remark regarding the Zambia Youth Football Association.
by Dr. Kalida. Is he the
No,
one who
the
said
General
that?
Secretary.
Okay, the General Secretary.
No, the point I'm saying is again structure. There's a lot we can talk about it, but here's Scotland is a good example. Here we made football one body, Football Association of Zambia. In Scotland, they have about 4 associations under the FA.
Okay.
One of them is youth football. An association we used to have it here. We killed it. Just an association to look after youth football, to look after community football. So we must check our structure. Is it solving the problems on the ground? Is it? I don't think so. We've adopted the political structure and we introduced politics in football.
Oh, yes.
Do you know there's worse Qatarism in football than in the political parties?
Oh, yes.
Vakandile Mubole, Evafula. When they know that if these two work together, we will not eat. They will make sure you are always apart.
Oh, yes.
I know that.
Oh, yeah.
I had the experience with Kalusha. I've had the experience with Andrew Kamanga. Yes, we had differences. Yes, we had issues. But when the candida is coming, what you thought was an ant becomes a mountain. You are even shocked. I said that. Then suddenly you cut communication from each other. That makes it worse. They go and celebrate. They see me with Andrew Kamanga. They are now unsettled.
Oh, yes.
Because they are hungry. There are more cadres in football. If somebody can remove them from football, we will start seeing life. Even the players are in problems, boss.
Oh, yeah.
They pass the ball, that never used to happen. We used to give players
Oh,
money.
yes. Instead.
Huh? We used to pay them. We used to give them money on top of what they were getting. Some of them were even getting more money than me as a banker. But the pleasure of seeing them win. Our game has to change in a lot of spheres.
Absolutely. Coach Sakara.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to say is that Aguila Stars is here to stay and contribute so much in terms of Zambian football. I think with our youth development policy that we have to give chance to the youths, okay, to play and to market them so that the better their lives is what to expect at Aguila Stars. So those that are able with abilities, those that are youthful, energetic, let them come. We'll give them chance to play. As we don't mind whether we are National League, we'll give chance to the youth. I know there's a lot of myth going around, okay, we need senior players to play mostly, but if any time that a team qualifies, we get the other senior players, we bring them 10, 15, what happens to those youths? Then we have to bury them. We bury their talent. So what do we do now? Let's give them chance. And that's our policy at Aguila Stars, and we are here to make a name, and those boys are going to make the nation proud.
Amen.
Yeah.
Coach Musonda.
We have the answers and everything. How do we start for us to correct this? We need an endeavor where we need the big brains to be there. Smata is there, Karusha Wadia is there, Kamanga is there, other senior coaches are there, the Minister of Sport is there. We sit down and map up with a strategy forward to bring our football back. We need that endeavor. The minister mentioned that, and somebody was making a useless comment. What is this minister talking about? That minister is a former Nkana supporter. He knows where it has gone wrong. That this is Smata's boy, this is Karusha Wadia's boy, that is dangerous. We need that endeavor. We have the answers. We have the problems. We know where they're coming from. But that Indaba, if we can have it, I always imagine if Smarter and Karusha Wadia and Kamanga can work together. You know what can happen? Karusha Wadia, excellent technically. Are you getting the point?
Pray for it.
Oh, yes. You get my point?
I mean prayer.
Oh, yes.
Agree on this.
We will
Oh, yes.
pray for the purpose.
You look at Smarter.
Football.
You look at Smarter, ID advanced. You look at Kamanga, he's got the corporate world. If we put the three together, what happens? Excellent. Zambia will come back into football. These people, they will look for coaches who are senior. We don't refuse the youngsters to take over from us, but they must grow through the ranks as coaches.
Of those three,
Yes.
you have left your pastor to pray for the whole team.
Very, very important. I also include Pastor Chiluba to be there.
For the pastor.
Yeah.
That
No, you come. Let him finish.
excellent disseminators of information.
That's right.
That's where
I just cut in. You are coming, Brahmasha.
I-
Finish what you are saying. And about Kamne team, what is your weight to the players?
Well,
To the players,
The team,
to the
yes.
players for Cabinet, please keep working extra hard in our team. I have worked with the big people like Mr. Smarter, who wants to pick players on merit. And I've worked outside this country for 6 years in Zimbabwe, 3 years in Botswana, in a foreign country. That I have done. He can bear me witness. When they were just trying to win championship, my team was going to be demoted if I had lost to BDF, but I drew with them. And he scored a clincher with a minute to go. I could have won 1-0, but he scored a goal. Then I cried, look at that Zambian has killed me. And everybody was laughing. You get my
I
point?
was protecting my job.
Oh, yes. So it's important that we do that.
Yeah.
First. Thank you.
Brahmasha.
as an evangelist, pushing out information to people, disseminating information is not a hassle. For Smarter or these coaches here to proceed further, or indeed Andrew Kamanga and his executive committee, you need excellent communicators. And that is where we come in as broadcasters and journalists to fill in the gap. What I'm saying to Brother Sakala here and Brother Msonda here, the coach for Camnet, is that look around for proper communicators who take your information to other parts of this country. Because Camnet stars will only be here at Kabalonga Secondary School, but you need somebody who can talk about them on radio, television, in the newspapers. We can fill in that gap. Let me say this. Congratulations, the Cabinet Executive Director and his beautiful wife, for coming up with this idea of the Cabinet Football Stars. FIFA and CAF. And some of us, chairman here, do know that as administrators, FIFA and FAS and CAF, they use a football because football can gather multitudes for a moment of entertainment, information, and sharing ideas. In Chilenge, I come from Chalala. I know of two people who were the worst of enemies. But there was a game at Independence Stadium where these people, they went into the stadium and they were smoking. One of them lit a cigarette and was smoking. But when there was a goal, the gentleman who was smoking forgot that he was seated side by side with his enemy and gave him a cigarette. That's what football can do. That's what football can do. So FIFA uses football, Pastor Chiluba and Mr. Smarter, you are aware of this, that they use it in areas where there's conflict so that people can come together and share. For Fringilla,
Aguila Stars.
for Aquila Stars, a beautiful development. So let the boys go into the Eden League to play their game without having to fight against anybody. Because football is enjoyment.
Yes.
There are three principles. You lose, you win, and you draw. So depending on which is the result, please don't fight, because according to FIFA, you ask him, former FAS chairman here, FIFA says respect one another, then you enjoy the game. But for those footballers that the pastor was announcing, if you think you are a good footballer between the ages of 16 and 25, can you approach Camnet? Camnet is not just another channel, my friends. Camnet is a special, gifted by the love of God, Remember, you can only play football using the energy. Who is the owner of that energy? It's Jesus Christ. Because he says in the Bible, you can do all things through Christ who gives you the power. Those footballers in Chief Nkole's area that are at the Masha Chilemena Football School, which is not a club, which is not an academy. We simply develop what football you know. You ask, Coach Musonda, he knows about that program. So, Coach Sakala, speak to me nicely, at the end of this program. May the good Lord bless the Camunet family. May you pray for this station, because this is the mouthpiece of Christ Jesus, the Son of the living God, in whom God is well pleased. Well, I'm not preaching, and normally I would be tempted to start preaching. So please, let's pray for the station. Let's pray for the madam, who is the managing director and the general manager, combined together for Camunet television stars. You have a great future. You have great men and women here who take you to places. Remember, Smarta will tell you discipline, dedication, focus, and collaboration with these coaches or coaches where you are. May the good Lord bless you abundantly. Even if you forgot Pastor Moses Chiluba and his wonderful wife, and the technical team comprising Elijah Chikwanda, Fulgence Msonga, Ebwaria, Mlenga coach in there. But the future will not forget you. Finally, let me tell you what a big man who taught me how to do football commentaries, the late Dennis Iwewe, who was the voice of soccer in the world, and perhaps the best commentator in the world in terms of bringing in entertainment which you didn't even expect. Because when Mr. Iwewe was doing commentaries, his soul, rest in peace, if you are quarreling with your wife, you will stop. If you have a difference with somebody else, you will stop so that you can concentrate on listening what he says. 360 degrees angle, Jan Simulamba, all the way to Alex Chola to Bonfasi Mutowe. Willie Peely scoring for the ball. To Brighton Sinyanga screens it to Moses inside. It's a goal!
And he would say these boys are coming like MiGs.
He had to come. He scored at the military fighting bomba. So, gentlemen here, Smarta, Coach Sakala and Musonda,
yes,
I can only wish you God's blessings. May the righteousness of God proceed before all of you.
Amen.
And the goodness of heaven, to follow you as you travel to your various places.
Now we come back home. We are going to open the door for the king.
Okay.
The Tunga is here.
He belongs to what is called a certain province, not a country. And he thinks that he's a country, but with due respect, you know that the patron of football, who is His Excellency the President, Hakainde Hichilema, gives a lot of respect to all the traditional leaders and the paramilitary.
You are always loud even before.
Or are you saying, Brother
you have
Smart?
too much Tonga everywhere.
I'm the only
Am I saying?
compared to Smarta, I'm the only one here, I think all of us here, who can speak all the 7 languages that are popular.
Now, are we saying?
Including English.
Now,
Yes,
are
sir.
you saying?
Yes, sir.
We should close this so that we leave you with your cousin Smarta. You fight it out.
No. That's a problem. That's a problem with
Oh, it's your servant.
That's the problem with the young people of today. An old woman will be standing in the bus, and this young lady at 16 years, she'll be seated. So that's what happens with these young boys. God bless this station.
Amen.
Bless all of you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Dear Camunet TV viewers, we've come to the end of our broadcast. We wished we had the time. Andrew Kamanga, President, we love you, and your administration, Zambia, let's come together. People like Masha Chilemena, who we need to support. When I say we need to support, this man is an asset to this nation. People like Smarta, without political agenda or tribal affiliation, the nation needs these people.
Yes.
This is why Camnet TV, a new baby on the block, has come to say, let's work with all these technicians so that we can fix what has gone wrong. And once again, you boys that are good, if you know you are good, I love one advert. In fact, my son, when he was playing golf, Michael, I gave him 2 adverts which I liked. One is Energizer. Never say die. And
We need to thank you, all the people that called in,
Yes.
including Dr. Kalila,
Yes.
who gave us a fantastic message.
in fact, I'll talk to him after. Yeah. And also, the other advert I love, I don't know why it stopped playing. When you pay, it will show.
Sure.
Those
If you
adverts-
pay, cabinet will come into
when you pay in your training, in your discipline,
Right.
in your focus,
Right.
once you commit yourself, it will show.
Absolutely.
Don't go for money, go for hard work.
Yes.
Brother Chemena.
Yes.
And those of you boys who think you can be like Patson Daka Fashion Sakala,
Or better than
first work. The Americans say, he that is willing on the throne, to sit on the throne must be willing to clean it first. You clean the throne before you sit on it.
you, the educated, say, Pastor Chiluba Smata, that success demands that those who want to succeed must participate.
Absolutely. And this is where we say, keep watching Camnet TV, because Camnet TV is not just another channel. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to the people who called, who wrote. I am so sorry about the technical failure to Chan Simulambo, but we will create a platform. You will hear this man. May the Lord bless Zambia. May the Lord restore this nation in every department.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We thank you.